All right, so we have a absolute crazy showdown slate here between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Jacksonville Jaguars, which, to be honest, is going to be a very high-scoring affair. I do not believe that the T-Law and the Jags are going to throw 4 interceptions in this game, as Kansas City Chiefs have an absolutely abysmal defense, and Jacksonville, while they actually have a pretty good defense, we saw last week that the Chargers absolutely annihilated them in the first half, but second half they did shut down. I don't think that the Chiefs are going to be shut down in the second half of this football game. They actually did play a couple weeks ago, the Jacksonville versus KC, and Jacksonville lost 27-17. So this is going to be a really interesting game that, honestly, I'm expecting 1,000% to go KC's way. So I am going to start off with my first pick here. I'm going to go ahead and go with Jerick McKinnon versus Jacksonville. Now, he did not have a great week last week, but he did have a great week before that, and then a couple throughout the season. So he's been a pretty solid player. And at 11,100, I absolutely love this pick right here. Now, for quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes, obviously last week versus the Raiders, only had 14.98 points. It was the last game of the season. They kind of had the game locked up, so it's not a huge deal. But outside of that, he's been absolutely a monster. So I am going to figure out a way to get him in here, even versus Jacksonville Jaguars defense. Last time he played him, he had 35 points. So there's not really a way you can avoid going for him in this scenario, because he should have an absolute God tier type of day. Now, I'm going to try my best to not overdo the Kansas City Chiefs here, which is very easy to do because, in a way, let's say, for example, it ends up becoming a blowout for the Kansas City Chiefs over Jacksonville. Let's say they win 49 to whatever. You got to think there's going to be a lot of garbage time for the Jaguars to actually come back and maybe not win the game, but at least score a lot of points that gives them a lot of fantasy value. And you already know you could have a perfect Chiefs roster, perfect Chiefs stack, and then bam, all you know is next second later, they come back, right? The Jags come back in this game and destroy your money-making opportunity. So Christian Kirk last week, I believe he had 1 touchdown. I know he had another touchdown when he was targeted, but he ended up not catching it. So he only caught 1 touchdown last week. I could see him having a really good this week versus Kansas City Chiefs. I am going to go a little bit on the cheaper side here. Kadarius Toney's another player. New Kansas City Chiefs here could have a decent day. Obviously, Scanting and Hardman are very low on this list for a good reason, because neither of them I really am too interested in. Marvin Jones should have a decent game versus the Kansas City Chiefs. And again, like I said, there's so many options, so many chances of players you could go with. But I am probably going to be going with Travis Etienne here as my next pickup. And then I think I'm going to kind of go a little bit expensive and then go very cheap and kind of go for my boomer bust guy as my last pick. So Juju Smith-Schuster, yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to do much. I mean, last time he played at 5.3 points, but I'm not too much of a fan of him. This could become a game where Isaiah Pecco ends up just running the football. I really hope that's not the case, because we don't want to see that in this game. But we could see something like Zay Jones absolutely have a field day in this game versus this defense. Rojo, last week 10.5 points, but I just don't see him really getting there unless something crazy happens. Jamal Agnew, limited participant in practice on Tuesday. He is a kick and punt return god. Could he have a crazy return in this game? Last week, he also had a goal line target last week, was absolutely huge. Could he have another, possible goal line target or kick or punt return? Absolutely. And that might be where we go toward. I know it's not the sexiest pick of all time, right? But that might be our best chance as like a Hail Mary, because this last pick we're going with here is an absolute Hail Mary, right? This is a guy that could go off, could have something crazy happen, and we just kind of are banking off of that. And I might do that with my last pick here, just so we can have our studs and our stars in there, and then we have the Hail Mary, 1 second to go in the game, and you just taking a shot down the field, right? Because outside of that, there's not really anything I like on this. So if we go ahead and look at the KC side, just taking a look at some players I do like. Obviously, Kelsey is a yes, and if you get him in your lineup, I would recommend doing that. But I don't think he's a must. I really do not believe he's a must. This Jaguars defense is pretty solid. I do like them a lot. I think they have a lot of upside, and I think they can shut down, for the most part, Travis Kelce and a little bit of this Chiefs offense, but not completely. I don't think they're going to completely shut down Patrick Mahomes. There's not really any shutting down Patrick Mahomes, in all honesty. Pacheco, though, again, like I said, another guy could go good in this game, but I do like that Jag front seven. Josh Allen has been absolute god tier, so I definitely do like him here. Kadarius Toney, one of these three guys, I'm going to tell you right now, is going to have a game. One of those three guys is going to make a big play in this game for a touchdown, and we're going to be talking about the fact that, oh, wow, he was the guy you should have went with. Right? Kickers are always on the table no matter what. And that's it for the Chiefs side. For Jacksonville side, can you go with T-Law? He had 26 points last week in an amazing comeback after throwing 4 interceptions. He didn't throw 4 picks in this game. Guy's absolute god tier when it comes to points. But again, he did throw 4 interceptions in this game. Last time he did play versus KC here, he did have 20.96 points. I would probably be avoiding him in this game just because I feel like Jacksonville's goal in this game will most likely be that they are going to try to run at Travis Etienne, keep Mahomes off the field. It's a basic, strategy versus any elite quarterback. Keep him off the field, control the time possession, control the game yourself, and you win the game. So I think that's probably what they're going to be trying to do. Evan Ingram is an absolute god tier tight end. You could absolutely go with him, as last week he had 11 targets in that game, and he has been absolutely out of his mind. He's another really good option this week. Marvin Jones, I'm probably going to be fading him, but you could go with him. 3 catches on 6 targets. It really depends on how T-Law is feeling that day, whether he's going to hit him or not. And I probably like the other options we went with over him, but he is a possibility if you want to sneak him in your lineup. He's 4,800, not too expensive, kind of like nice little, boomer bust type of play. Kickers, obviously, yes, obviously only one of the kickers you want to go with. Jags defense, Chiefs defense, no and no. I don't like either defense this week. I don't think either defense is going to really do that great. The man Dan Arnold, the guy who's been on this team freaking forever, but simply is not going to be. He actually was 1 year, he had I think 3 touchdowns or something. He was actually pretty good. Other than that, though, nothing else on this game that I really do like. So I'm probably going to be sitting here and kind of going back and forth on some of these plays. Not everything is going to be the sexiest options this week. But as always, Showdown Slates are the weirdest slates to kind of go with, because there's not really anything you can really, there's not too many options, right? And the thing with Showdown Slates is the number one thing is trying to diversify your lineup as much as humanly possible. But of course, with Showdown Slates, it's easy because all you have to do is choose one player that is not chalky, and you can kind of, win based on that. And I think right now, Jamal Agnew is not going to be a chalky play this week. He hasn't really had a good game. And literally, last time Agnew had a really good game was week 12 versus Baltimore and week 4. So he's going to be a very non-chalky play. He's going to be a very kind of diverse play here, and I think that could be the difference maker if he does have a kick or punt return, or he does have a touchdown, which again, like I said last week, he did have a goal line look. Guys, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions, though, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.